All right, I want you to imagine something. You're a combat pilot. Your whole world, your entire career, is built on the laws of physics and aerodynamics. Then one day, you see something that just shatters them. That's precisely what happened to Commander Alex Dietrich, and today we're going to unpack her incredible story, truly one of the most credible UAP encounters on record.
So, let's set the scene. We're in November 2004, off the coast of California. What starts out as just another routine training mission, well, it turns into an encounter with an object that, based on everything we know about physics, just shouldn't be possible.
Yeah, that's Commander Alex Dietrich herself, in her own words, and what she says gets right to the heart of this whole mystery. See, the problem here wasn't just that the object was unidentified. It was that the way it moved seemed to completely ignore the fundamental laws of our universe.
And that really is the question, isn't it? To even start to wrap our heads around what went down out there over the Pacific, we first have to understand the person who saw it. Who was in that cockpit? Who was the witness to this impossible event?
So let's talk about Commander Alex Dietrich. Who is she? Because look, her background isn't just a side note here. It's absolutely central to understanding how credible this whole story is and just how seriously we should take what she reported.
And when you look at her path, it's pretty fascinating. She comes from a math and science background, so she's analytical, she's methodical. She joins the Navy looking for, in her words, a big personal adventure. But then history steps in a huge way.
I mean, can you even wrap your head around that? Your very first training flight is on September 11th, 2001. She calls it a total paradigm shift. In an instant, that adventure became a solemn duty. It wasn't about her anymore, it was about the oath she took. And that's the kind of serious, mission-focused person she was when she climbed into that cockpit in 2004.
Okay, so that brings us back to the main event. We've got this highly trained, incredibly dedicated pilot, and she's on what's supposed to be just another day at the office. The stage was set for something truly extraordinary.
So picture this. They're doing these pre-deployment workups, basically practice runs. A totally normal day. Then, the call comes in from the ship. They're being pulled off their training to go check out a real-world contact. You know, the people on the ground, the controllers, they're thinking, maybe it's just a bug in our new radar system.
Okay, so in military talk, they're looking for a tally on this thing, just trying to get eyes on it. But here's the weird part. The first thing they see isn't the object. It's this bizarre patch of churning whitewater down below, in an otherwise totally calm sea. And there's nothing there to cause it. That strange disturbance is what anchored their eyes and let them finally spot the object hovering right above it.
And what they finally locked their eyes on is this thing. They nicknamed it the Tic Tac for obvious reasons. It's maybe 30, 40 feet long, matte white, and completely smooth. No windows, no wings, no tail, no rudders, and absolutely zero signs of propulsion. No smoke, no heat haze, no exhaust. Just nothing. No way to tell how it was flying.
And this is where things go from strange to completely off-the-charts impossible. Look, any pilot will tell you flying is all about physics. An F-18 has to bank to turn. It's limited by G-forces. This thing, it didn't play by those rules at all. From their perspective, it seemed to turn instantaneously. It would just pop from one spot to another. It changed speed and altitude in ways that just made no sense. So it wasn't just what it looked like, it was how it moved that was so deeply unnerving.
Okay, so you've just seen something that defies physics. What do? What happens next? How does a massive organization like the military handle a report that doesn't fit into any of its neat little boxes?
And the answer in that moment was basically nothing. The pilots land, they report what they saw, and they're more or less told, okay, weird, now get back to work. The chain of command saw it as a distraction from the real mission, getting ready for deployment. There was just no box to check, no procedure to follow for impossible tic-tac in the sky.
And that really gets to the bigger point Commander Dietrich makes today. She sees this whole thing as a serious national security issue, a crack in our dominance, as she calls it. Because if something can fly into our training airspace and move in ways we can't explain or counter, that's a problem. That's a vulnerability we have to take seriously no matter what it turns out to be.
So, what's the solution she's pushing for? It's actually pretty logical. She advocates for a clear, stigma-free reporting system. And look, this isn't about hunting for aliens. It's about data. It's about security. Step 1, let pilots report weird stuff without fearing it'll kill their careers. Step 2, put all the data, eyewitness reports, radar, infrared camera footage, all in one place. Build a database. And then let the smart people, the analysts and scientists, actually study it. It's a common-sense approach to a totally baffling problem.
You know, at the end of the day, this whole thing led Commander Dietrich to a really profound takeaway, one that goes way beyond military procedure and gets to the very heart of how we discover new things.
And the way she explains it is just brilliant. She talks about organ transplants. Not that long ago, that was pure science fiction, right? Something out of a fantasy novel. And now you go to the DMV and they ask if you want to be an organ donor. It's a fantastic reminder that the things that seem impossible to one generation can become totally routine to the next. All it takes is curiosity and an open mind. And really, that's what it all comes down to, right? Commander Dietrich isn't saying she knows what she saw, but her experience makes us all ask that question. What else is out there that just doesn't fit into our neat little boxes? What things that blow our minds today will be just normal tomorrow?